This month I'm talking about migraines. A migraine is an intense throbbing headache that usually has other symptoms like sensitivities to light, sound, or smell, and also nausea. If you suffer from migraines, you already know about all the symptoms and you're ready for them to subside. So I'm happy to be here to give you some tips and tricks that will hopefully remedy your migraines. The best piece of advice I can give you is to get a journal and track everything. This way you understand what your triggers are and you can either drastically reduce the amount of migraines you get or eliminate them completely. So the first thing that you want to track is your sleep. What time do you go to bed? What time do you get up? How many hours of sleep uninterrupted that you get? And do you feel rested when you rise? The second thing you want to track in your journal is food and drink. You want to understand what you're putting into your body and how your body is working with that or not working with that. So this plays into a couple of different things in this more broad category. The first thing being that it's possible as we age to develop allergies. Certain things that our bodies used to be able to break down when we were younger, maybe in our 20s, 30s, 40s, our body just can't really digest well anymore. So the body's response to that is to give us a migraine. So the common food allergies for migraines are chocolate, dairy, nuts, and gluten. I'm sure there are others, and if there's an allergy that you have that gives you a migraine, I would love it if you would share it in the comments below so that we can share that information with other people. So another part of the whole food and drink category is your metabolism. Do you skip breakfast, or do you skip dinner, or maybe one day you skip lunch? If so, that matters in your body. It changes your metabolism, it offsets things, which in turn offsets other things and gives you a migraine. Not everybody who skips breakfast or lunch is going to get a migraine, but if you're prone to migraines, that could be your trigger. And the last thing is drink. What liquids are you putting into your body? Are you hydrated? Are you getting enough water, this lovely fluid that our bodies need so much of? And are you taking in a lot of caffeine? I'm not going to tell you don't drink any coffee. I'm a believer in balance and everything in moderation. But maybe instead of 5 cups of coffee, you could break it down to maybe 1 or 2 and see how that affects your body. So the third thing you want to track in your journal is stressors. So with stress, the body doesn't distinguish between positive or negative stress. It just feels the stress and it goes through its system to kind of calm the body down. So you could have a really positive stress, like maybe getting a promotion or having some really exciting family news or something like that. And you could also have something terrible like a really bad day at work or getting stuck in traffic on the way home or maybe getting in a fight with a loved one. So the body is going to register these stressors, and if it's really intense and maybe you can't handle it, it's going to give you a migraine. So the fourth thing that you want to track in your journal is the change in weather. And I say change in weather as opposed to weather as a whole because the more studies that have been done, it's not actually that it's raining outside and there's maybe more pressure in the air, but it's that it was sunny and now it's rainy, or it was windy and now it's not. That change is important. So you want to know what's going on at the time of your migraine and maybe a couple of hours or a little bit earlier in the day. So another thing that you want to track in your journal is activity. If you exercise on a regular basis and then all of a sudden life changes and work gets really busy, or you get in a relationship and you stop exercising, your body registers that and it doesn't have a way to move through things as well as it used to, and that can give you a migraine. It's so interesting when people come into my office and they are coming in because they've been getting migraines and we start to work on their neck. There's so much heat in their neck, it's insane. It usually will make me sweat too. So what's happening in them is there's stagnation here. It can also be because they're not vocalizing what's going on with them, so the energy is kind of just staying here and it's not moving anywhere. But a lot of times it's from lack of activity or a decreased amount of activity. So if you're that person that maybe doesn't always speak their mind in a positive way, or just like doesn't make the time to exercise, be a mover and a shaker. Take a walk, go for a run, take a class, do something that gets you active. If you're not a mover and a shaker, there's other ways to bring the energy down. You want to get a pedicure, soak your feet, maybe take a bath, or get a massage. Those are all ways to sort of bring the energy down. So another thing that you want to track is your cycle. And I know a lot of people are going to think this is just for women, but men also have a spike in their cycle. Every 3 months, the testosterone level spikes in men. So if you notice that you get maybe a couple of migraines a year or not on a regular, it could just be that that's your time of the month. So you definitely want to be aware of that and see if there are ways that you can kind of combat that and have a more calm day as opposed to like the regular hustle and bustle of everything. And if you're a woman, there are lots of apps that can track your cycle if you don't particularly track your cycle, and you can understand where you are and when things usually start to arise and find ways of calming the system down as well. The last thing that you want to track in your journal is where is the pain. I know when you're in a migraine, you don't necessarily want to do some detective work and figure out where things are, but either after that or when you come in for a session or if you just feel like playing around back in your neck, go ahead. If this is the case, there's usually, so when somebody comes in for a session and we're working on their neck because they have migraines, there's usually 1 or 2 vertebrae that are torqued, they're out of alignment in their neck, and I just push on it and they say, oh, that's where my migraines come from. So there's a direct connection. So your structure is just out of alignment. So if you know that's the case, the simple remedy for that is just to come in for a session and get realigned. So we'll realign your spine and then we'll get you back to the beautiful range of motion that you know and love. So I hope that you found this video blog effective and helpful. And if you have any other information about migraines or things that you've tried or researched, I would love it if you would share with the other viewers so that we can help more people in less time. Take care.